Hey!
Hey, hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. My name is Austin Ihezue, aka Kubola for Christ. My family, we are 11 in number.
Wow.
My dad, my mom. I have two junior brothers and six sisters. My dad, like he has this issue. Like he was once like a businessman, so he had a problem with his business. That was how the whole business collapsed, and life was so difficult for us. Trying to go to school, see my other classmates, eating in the school, and I don't have anything to eat. Sometimes I just have to go down and start crying to God. And sometimes they'll ask me, Austin, you don't have any food to eat? I'll tell them that I'm fasting. My dad was so poor, like we were so broke, like we hardly eat 1 square meal a day. Growing up that way, I just developed this mentality of I have to succeed.
Yeah.
So there was like my classmates, most times, like there was this neighbor in my compound. He did on drugs. I was trying to survive. I became an errand boy for him. So I was helping him to smuggle drugs, so I can able to have money to go to school and be able to eat, not to feel hungry.
Did it get to a point then where people were like scared of you because they knew like you were somebody not to mess with?
Yeah, people around my community, they love me as a hustler, but they are afraid of me because I fight a lot. Like, you don't touch my sister, you don't beat my friends, you don't play with my loved ones. So I was this kind of guy, like, whenever you beat any of my loved ones, I come with a group of gangs that have guns and all that.
Yeah.
And we come to protect you.
How did you go from selling drugs to professionally playing soccer? Like, how did that even get there?
So while I was playing football, somebody saw me playing football and he was like, boy, hey, come, I have something for you to go and try. So I said, oh, I was very rugged, so I don't believe in football, becoming a professional footballer. So the man came to my house and said, sir, you want to take your boy to a competition, please, can this boy go with us? I got me happy. My dad said no, but my mom said that, please, allow this boy to go. She said when I was in her belly, that while she was going to church, they fire her ball on her tummy.
Okay, so somebody finds you out, they see you playing the streets, you're playing soccer, and the coach is like, hey, come play for us. What team did you play for? Where have you traveled? What has your soccer career looked like?
I started playing football 2012, fully, like 2012. I played for a club called it's a Libra FC, and also Heartland Feeders team.
So pretty much you played soccer then like 2012 to 2020, and as we know in 2020, COVID-19, like it felt like the world was shutting down, everyone's going into quarantine. You're depressed, you're anxious, you feel like your life's falling apart. As we know, you met this dude by the name of Will Duggan. He started a ministry named Ananias International, and he did a Facebook post to you, basically to Nigeria. You found it, and it was all about getting to know Jesus. What was the difference now that you've like fully given your life to Jesus? Where is it? Why is it different?
Before I met Williams, I was this kind of guy that I always say I'm a Christian, why I am not fully a Christian. I'm going through so much pains. So I said, I want to know this guy. He was saying something that touched me so much. So I DM'd him and I said that, please, sir, I want you to pray for me, that I'm confused and I want to give my life. I want to take my life. I'm tired of this life, Dad.
When I hear you talk right now, I think about the Apostle Paul. When you truly made your relationship with Jesus real, you made a real commitment to follow Jesus, that's when you've now experienced the most abundant life. For people that don't know you, like, and what you've been able to help us accomplish, when we went into quarantine, we had to take our ministry completely online. During that time, I saw this guy named, depending on where it was on social media, Lucky or Austin Chukuda maybe, that's what they're saying. Okay, so I see this guy pop up. I'm like, who is this guy right now? I don't know this guy. And you just kept coming back. I'm like, what is happening? This is amazing. So next thing I know, It's not just you, but then other people from Nigeria and Pakistan and people in New Jersey and people like all over the place. So the evidence that God did something phenomenal in your life was that you started sharing who he was with people. Here's my question. Like, how do you know all these people? I want to know that first of all.
So when I teach them, I already teach them the word of God. Although I did not know much about the word of God, but I'm a preacher of love. I love people so much. So I teach them how to show love to each other and be able to be humble, because I believe with humility they can be able to get to their destination. But when you are prideful, you always fall. What I learned was inside of me, although I was active stubborn, but I was glad this lesson and teaching.
Bro, I just think it's amazing how you just leverage your influence, man. Like, you're like, hey, I'm a soccer player. People want to, footballer for Christ. I'm a footballer, and, you know, people, they want to be like me. They want to play like me. So I'm going to show them Jesus in the meantime. And I think when we talk about this idea in the Bible of people being just like us, that's all it was. It was just saying, God's put me in this place, so I'm going to use this influence to build his kingdom. I'm proud of you, man. I think what's crazy, man, about your whole journey is here's your life beginning like in poverty. You're selling drugs. You're not really living for the Lord yet. You kind of have this knowledge of the Lord. Some guy sees you playing soccer. Now you're playing soccer. You know, like, life was good, right? Isn't it interesting, though, that Jesus says in this life you'll have trouble? It's not like you're going to serve Jesus and then it's all easy after that. Anybody you see in the Bible, just like us, they had hardship and they had to follow the Lord to overcome that. How would you define maybe a way that you've experienced hardship lately, or you feel like maybe God has even tested your faith a little bit?
Yeah, he tested it through my knee.
Through your knees?
Yeah.
What's been wrong with your knees?
I had like a meniscus tear.
A meniscus tear? I can only imagine, honestly, like the discouragement, especially as like an athlete. Obviously, your body working correctly, you depend on that. You know, the Bible doesn't say that we're not going to be discouraged following Jesus. You know, if anything, it says in this life you're going to have trouble. So take heart, because he's overcome the world. And I just think a lot of times that people don't really get to be a part of the miraculous and amazing things of God because they don't hang on long enough in the meantime. So here you are, like, you've known what depression is. You've known what it is like to have a lot and to not have any. And now your knees are having problems. Now, like, you have a torn meniscus, like you can't play soccer the way you're supposed to, even if you weren't in quarantine, even if COVID wasn't happening. And I just think you have the perfect setup for a miracle to happen. And I think just the thing I see with you is not that you've always done everything correctly or perfect or any of those things, but you knew how to hang on to faith, you knew how to press in, and the good thing about being a believer in Jesus is you know how to surround yourself with the right people that will continue to encourage you. So I got some dudes here that want to say what up to you, and I know you're going to be excited to see them. Will, Cody, come here. These are some of your boys. Yeah.
What's up, man?
Cody.
So
So I just asked these guys to show up because I wanted them to help tell the story a little bit about what they've seen you walk through, even with your knee issues and all of that stuff, like, because he was primed for a miracle. You guys want to just like share a little bit about like the journey and kind of like the testimony of what God's been bringing them through?
Yeah, I mean, Austin, like, you know, this injury happened in June of 2020. I mean, it was an attack because that guy on your team, I mean, he purposely injured you.
I remember you had texted us one day in particular. I remember you were like, I'm in so much pain that I'm just ready to cut my leg off. And so I just can't even imagine how much pain you really were in.
It got to the point, it had been 5 months almost. And in Nigeria, right, Austin, some of these guys that have these injuries, if they don't get surgery, if they don't get that resolved, they'll lose their legs.
We pretty much were like, we were either need to fly him here and have a surgery that in America, surgeries are just super expensive.
What would that surgery cost?
Insurance.
It could be like $20,000.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, $20,000, like we can believe God for that.
Plus the airfare to get him here.
Yeah.
And a visa, like.
And then you have rehab and just all these different things, medication. everything.
Ultimately, we just started Googling hospitals in Lagos, and I said, I think you need to see an orthopedic surgeon.
It was easier because the surgery there was $6,000, right? Rather than here, $20,000.
So we said, okay, God, we need 50% of the money for this surgery as a down payment to schedule it. So how are we going to do that?
Okay, so you guys got the 50%. It's all by faith. He's getting the surgery. Did you guys pay for the rest out of pocket, or what did you guys?
I mean, we didn't have it.
Because I didn't pay for it all.
No, we didn't have it. Austin didn't have it. So we honestly, I just told him, I said, go get the surgery and we'll figure the rest out after. The craziest thing, so we had this GoFundMe. That's where we raised the majority of the money. And toward the end, after the surgery, we still needed that money to pay off the balance. I got a message from a guy that I thought knew Austin through our GoFundMe.
Because you know everyone around the world, it just feels like.
Yeah, this guy, his name, it was a foreign name. So I'm thinking he must be some guy that knows Austin. Messaged us and said, are you guys still accepting money for Austin's fundraiser? And I said, yeah. Well, long story short, we had posted an update after his surgery, and we said, this is how much money we need. Well, this guy sent us that exact amount, and it was in the hundreds of dollars. The guy that ended up donating this money was searching for fundraisers to donate to in Austin, Texas.
Because he's from Austin, Texas.
He's from Austin, Texas,
Okay.
right? So he types in Austin, Texas fundraiser.
Finds your name.
And I'm thinking he's going to send like 100 or 50, I don't know.
Yeah.
He sends the full amount that he needed to pay off his surgery.
Wow.
And I mean, I was blown away. I'm chatting with him and I said, thank you so much. You have no idea that Austin has a call on his life really to share the gospel with like hundreds and thousands of people. That's on his heart. And he basically says, you know, I love that. I feel like God's definitely doing that, but I'm Muslim. And I'm just like,
I'm not even a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm a Muslim. You know, I think that's crazy, bro, is that God used a Muslim to give you the rest of the money so that you are going to win people for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like, I want you to talk about this, Austin, because like, I want these guys to kind of share the story from their perspective, because they've just been watching your life. What do you want to see God use you for here in 2021?
My vision is, you know, if I football, if I did not play football, fine. But my vision is to win 1 million souls for Christ.
So you want to win 1 million people for Jesus. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone tell me they want to win 1 million people for Jesus, bro. Like, it's not just like I'm proud of you. I am proud of you, but God is so excited that you would say, you know, I'm not limited by where I live. I'm not limited by how much money I have. I'm not limited by if I'm on some sports team or have all this like, God, you can use me right where I am to win people for Jesus. Like, what encouragement would you give people like watching and listening right now, like to believe that God can use them?
My encouragement to anybody watching this right now is for you to put God first, like put Christ first. Because one day, surely we're going to give account of our life. I had the opportunity to become a fraudster, I refuse. I have an opportunity to become an homosexual just to make money, I refuse. I had an opportunity to become a Muslim. When I was playing football, I had an opportunity to become a Muslim, I refuse. So, you know, I cry, you know, I go through so many things, but if God can do this for me, He can do it for you, just like us.